Nobody's going to watch.
No, no one's going to watch this.
Nobody ever does.
No.
It's all fake,
Yep.
just like fake
All
news.
right. So anyway, I'm here with my friend Gary. Gary's in America. Gary and I have been friends for about 30 years. And of course, this is unscheduled, unplanned. It was just a last minute thing. But Gary was on a little channel with me when we were in Vietnam together. And so Gary has been where you were last landed in Colombia, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And now you've come back to the States.
Yes.
And that's the show, folks.
Thanks for
Now you're
talking.
updated on Gary.
Great seeing you guys. Hey, have a nice life. Get a job. How about
that? So anyway, anybody that knows Gary from what, a year and a half ago or something like that when we were in Vietnam?
Yeah,
Okay.
at least not long ago. Yeah.
All right. So we were on the show together. Gary has been to Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia. We were there together, all three places. You went to Colombia. Where else did you go?
Yeah, you forgot last time. Albania. Albania.
Oh, yeah.
I think you got a friend. I think Ned. Is it Ned? He's in Albania now. He was in Turkey. What's the guy's name that was in Turkey?
Oh, that's Vern.
Vern.
Yeah, it sounds like Ned. Vern, Ned, that's close.
Spelled the same.
Spelled the same. Different pronunciation.
Bahamas, potato, where you're from.
Yeah. So what motivated you to leave Colombia and go home?
They didn't speak much English down there.
So what is the price of a Big Mac?
I told you before, I don't eat a McDonald's. How would I know? I like real food, you know what I mean? Not that engineered stuff.
All right. So you're planning now to go to Thailand. Is that correct? Or did I read your message wrong?
Possibly. I'm going to torture you. You understand? I'm going to torture you today.
Okay. You're not torturing me. You're torturing the poor people watching. I'm used to you. So we're going to get to comments here in a second.
Well, because you tell the story, you preface everything and tell the story, and then I got to nod yes or no, Paul. Yes, Paul. No, Paul.
Yeah, but this is impromptu. You and I were talking this morning. We were shooting a shit, and I said, "Hey, you want to go live?" And you said, "Okay." Yeah. So after a couple of technical difficulties, we managed to make it happen. Yeah. And I thought perhaps you'd like to let everybody know your impression of Albania, Colombia, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, America. How about you give everybody a little rundown on all those little spots and your thoughts, and we'll just sit here in fascination and listen to you.
I've been to Onaway, Michigan, too. That was a treat. Real treat.
All right, so let's rate them. Come on. Thailand, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 in your mind.
Well, when we talk about where I've been, sometimes I give a negative, what seems to be negative, and it's really not, because you and I talk about places that you want to retire to. So there's a difference between a 2-week vacation and a retirement. So
excellent point.
Based on that, I lived in Thailand almost 4 years, mostly in Phuket.
Sit a little closer so we can hear you, boss. Can you sit just a little closer? Sit a little closer so we can hear you better. There you go.
Okay. Well, I can. There you go. I get to shine on my glasses, though.
Yeah.
So Thailand, 3.5 going on 4 years. I mean, Phuket, and beautiful there, very scenic, pearl of the Andaman Sea, I think it's called. Very, very nice. Lots of things to do, places to go, good food. I like Thai food, as you do, and there's plenty of availability of nighttime activities there. So I moved because of the climate mostly. I find the older I get, the humidity really bothers me, and I don't particularly care for that. But that was back in 2008 when I left there, and the global recession hit, and I had to go back to Las Vegas, where we both lived for many years, and do that. So Thailand is very nice. I can't say anything wrong really about Thailand. It was nice. Vietnam, the reason I went there was it is supposedly the least humid place in Southeast Asia. A place called Nha Trang. It's not Nha Trang, as you say. It's Nha Trang. You've offended many a Vietnamese, including my ex-wife. Um, So Vietnam, I love Vietnam. It's nice there. However, there's a language barrier. Once you get outside the tourist area, it's really tough to find somebody who speaks English. Um, I'm not sure in what areas. Scenery, it's great. Fairly new hotels, extremely inexpensive. Right now, the same condo that you stayed at when you and I were there a year and a half ago was $650 a month, and now it's like $450. I mean, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, city view, ocean view, fully furnished, blah 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 blah. Somebody's at my door. Hold on.
Okay, great. I'll just keep talking. All right, so I'll go to some comments while Gary answers the door, and God knows what he's doing. Yeah, and here we are, Biff.
Okay. Have some
Okay,
crack.
they're
Some crack.
back.
Yeah, I'm staying in a hotel, motel here in Ohio, and I almost clocked this guy. He was, it's the wrong one. The tweakers.
Oh, is that where you're at? Is that true?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So
where were we? Thailand. You were talking about Thailand, Vietnam.
Yeah, we're talking about Vietnam. Very nice place. I can answer questions for anybody. That might be another route to take, but it's very inexpensive there, and I love that. The reason I moved, I had to come back for business reasons to Ohio. Well, we're going back 6 years or so now. Findlay, Ohio, in case anybody's looking for me, you want to come find me. And I don't really care. I'm ready for you more than one way, believe me. So I've been back here for about 6 years. And so after I left Vietnam the last time for a visit, I stopped off in the Philippines, Cebu, Mactan. I don't care for it. Big
You
city.
didn't like it.
Nowhere in the world do I like that's a big city. It's an asphalt jungle as far as I'm concerned. And it's people, crowded in, and the traffic is terrible, and the pollution. And I don't like poverty. I like modern, very modern, upbeat, new, shiny, and whatnot. So anyway, then I came back to Findlay here for a few months, and I went to Albania, a place called Saranda, which is right on the as part of the Balkan countries, and the Adriatic Sea. Beautiful, great place, very unique, very Greek Italian looking. The food was rather sparse. It's mostly pizza, fish, pasta, and veal, no meat. So that was a disappointment. But beautiful water right on this enclave. I mean, just gorgeous. Here again, if you were going to go somewhere for a couple of weeks and you were in that area, I wouldn't fly directly there. It's kind of hard to get to. You got to go to the capital city, Tirana. And Tirana was very nice. The people were very nice. The food was good. I enjoyed. I was over there about 3 months, and I enjoyed it. And then I came back to Ohio and for a couple of months. And with the whole COVID thing. Oh, can you say that word? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, that whole thing. Don't get me started on that.
No, it's not.
Yeah. You have to go that deal. Anyway, then I'd never been to Colombia. And again, I tried the resort areas on the beach called Santa Marta, and didn't care for that because it was all al fresco dining, and it's 98 degrees and humidity, and you're sweating all the time. I made it 2 weeks there, and then went to Medellin. Gorgeous, beautiful, fantastic. The people, the food, very modern Medellin, hospitals, shopping complexes, beautiful there. But here again, the language barrier. So on a vacation, absolutely go back to Medellin. Absolutely, in a heartbeat. The retirement visas are very easy to get. The whole visa process is very easy. But, there's very little English there. So you'd have to take a class. If you live there, you would definitely have to learn Spanish. So,
Okay.
yeah. So that's that. Now, how many viewers do we have on? Does anybody care? I mean, is anybody
We
listening?
got 139 people.
Oh my gosh, there's that many bored people out there already?
Yeah.
Yeah. Christmas. So now, I've been back for probably about a month, and I'm, Ohio's beautiful, spring, summer, fall. It's gorgeous here. I have a daughter. I'm not going to tell you where she lives.
No.
A lot of crazy people out there. Jeez.
Yeah.
But anyway, she lives far away from here, but in this general area. So I've been waiting for, as you will know, my two favorite countries. Yeah, I was about ready to say something else. Thailand and Vietnam, waiting for them to open up. So Thailand has opened, but boy, you got to jump a lot of hoops. You got to get this PCR test before you go. You got to have the 2-shot vaccination. You got to wait 1 month in between each shot, and then you got to wait another 2 weeks after your second shot. And then you got to go online and you got to apply for some kind of a permission, for lack of a better word. And then they have to approve that, and you can't make your flight reservations until you have that. And then you got to stay in a approved hotel they've lowered it down to 7 days now. And it's about $200 a day. So you're going to have, $1,400 there plus your flight. And you need health insurance that covers up to $100,000. And that's a couple of $100 a month. So inflation has really hit back here in America, in this town where I am. I mean, you can't really find a nice apartment for less than $1,200-1,500 a month. And you got to sign a 1-year lease. And I don't have any furniture because I sold my house here a year and a half or so ago. And so I got to go out and buy all new furniture. And I don't really want to do all that. So I'm looking for a way out. And that would be, I think, Thailand, unless the Philippines opens up. We've talked a little bit about Tagate. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Tagate. I don't know. Baby May. Where's Baby May?
Baby May's sitting over there on her phone.
Oh, okay. She probably knows how to pronounce that. It's Tagaytay. It's up in the mountains. And I found, being in Medellin, I love the mountain areas. You're just surrounded by lush vegetation, and it's cooler, about 10, 12 degrees cooler. So
okay.
I do want to give the Philippines one more shot. And because Tagate is very modern, they don't have the brownouts like they do in other areas. They got a little better foundation that they're working on. And I do a lot on the internet, a lot of surfing. I'm a surfer. I got my programs. I know what I do every day. I got, and boy, if I get up and I can't get online, with my cup of coffee, I'm sideways. It ruins my whole day. And I just want to crawl under the bed and cry, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The older I get, you know what I mean? I sleep like a baby. I do. I sleep like a baby. I wake up wet and crying. I'm at that age. But
so I think you made a good point, a very good point.
Which was?
And that's kind of the first time that we've even breached this, or I've seen it addressed, is retirement and vacation. I like that comparison. In other words, these are great places that you've visited, you saw, you experienced, and they were great to go for a couple of 3 weeks.
Sure.
You had a good time. You enjoyed the food. It was a change of pace. It was something different. It broke the routine. But to live there for the next 10 years, you didn't see it.
No. Yeah. My
now, I always
go ahead. I was going to say, my past 3 trips, I've noticed that it's time to go when the bar of soap runs out. It takes about 2 months. Literally, my last trip, I'm in the shower and the bar of soap was almost gone. It was like, you know what? It's time to go. I'm out of soap. That's the way that's the way I'm planning all my future vacations. I take 1 bar of soap, and when it's gone, I'm gone. I'm on the flight. Away I go. Buy another bar of soap. Now where
am I?
Where am I? I wonder that a lot. Where am I? So, anyway.
So, of all the places that you went to,
I just got back from Colombia. You know what I mean? I got to
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah, Pablo Escobar. I saw his museum.
Oh, did you?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Up in the barrios. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right.
Of all the places that you went to, Albania, Colombia, Thailand, we won't talk about Bali because you and I hated it. We couldn't wait to get out of there.
Yeah.
Anyway, prices. Guys are interested in budgets. Some guys have $1,500 a month. Some guys have $5,000 a month. Some guys have $800 a month. Of the places that you've been to, it sounds to me like Vietnam is really, really affordable right now.
Vietnam would be the least expensive as far as accommodations go, for sure.
Okay.
I find that whole budget needs to be tied to lifestyle. I mean, in America, in Vegas, there were areas in Las Vegas that you can get an apartment for $400 a month.
Sure.
Do you want to live in substandard housing? You want to live in the projects?
Right.
The answer is no. Medellin was that way. I had a condo right in the tourist area. It was a hotel, but it was Airbnb. It was like $730 a month, fully furnished with all the bells and whistles. As I walked around the city a little bit, I saw other places for $350, $400 a month. Now, if they had hot water or not, I don't know. That's a big deal. I mean, you can buy those heater things that you put on the shower. I like a hot shower myself, but do they have air conditioning in one room or do they have air conditioning in 2 or 3 rooms?
Sure.
So based on that, here again, Vietnam, Nha Trang anyway. I don't know about Da Nang or Ho Chi Minh or Hanoi. Usually the bigger cities are more expensive. But it's just what kind of accommodations are you willing to endure?
Right.
Myself, I like air conditioning, not in every room, but I mean, at least the living area and it floats into the kitchen to keep it cool. And for sure, the bedroom, I like hot water, high-speed internet, things like that. So Albania was the same way. There were places that I looked at, $400 or $500 a month. So you could live there on, I think $1,500. I mean, I feel empathy for people that are trying to live on less than $1,000 a month. I know you've done it. You and May have done it there in Dumaguete. But boy, you're really skimping. You're watching every single peso every single day. And if I had to do that, I'll just stay in America somewhere where I got health care and if you're older, Medicare. And I mean, if I'm that stressed out about money, I'm not sure I could want to live somewhere else. But to each their own. Everybody has a different life.
Sure.
And whatnot. So, but Thailand right now, I went on Airbnb and the apartment. Remember I used to live Patong Tower.
Right.
and I think I was paying like almost $1,000 a month, and those apartments there now are around 650, 700 because of
Okay.
COVID. You know, there's,
Right.
you know, that's come down. And that will go back up as however long this takes. But for now, the next probably year or so, I would imagine, you can get a pretty inexpensive apartment in Phuket. And as you know, there's lots to do there. There's modern
Yep.
shopping, and Bangkok Hospital is like going into a 5-star hotel.
Yep.
We got the best, and I enjoy the foods down there too. So, that's that. Next question.
Yeah. Language in Thailand.
I found it to be better than average. Didn't you when you were there? I mean,
Actually, I did. I've always said, and I still feel if I had my choice of living somewhere today, it would be Thailand over the Philippines. I prefer Thailand to here.
right.
I like the food. I like the culture. I like the infrastructure. I prefer the variety that there is there. There's you've got what I call the country. I guess it's the jungle. You've got metropolitan, state of the art healthcare, just all the things that you've mentioned. But I didn't struggle with the language in the zone that we were in, because we were there in Phuket, and what was Jung Salon Mall was where we were hanging out, that area there.
They had the best
And then,
roast duck at that one restaurant. The roast duck was just fabulous. Fabulous.
yeah,
And you know what else that
yeah,
just hit me? What I liked about Thailand is that the movie theaters were in English,
yeah,
and that's something you don't get. Well, you get a little bit of that in Nha Trang, but in Thailand, they're everywhere. They're all English, or if they are, they have the subtitles in English, but mostly they're in English. So that's
hmm
the entertainment and the merchandise, electronics and things like that, furniture. You can own a motorbike there in Thailand, which is nice. You can own a car. I bought a car when I was there, and it was in my name, so that was good. The roads are good. Um, so yeah, Thailand definitely. I don't know what their visa situation is. Before you just had to go out of the country every 90 days, and then
yeah.
you had to fly back in. But every 90 days. Then I had a business visa there for a while that was yearly. And then if you know the right people, if you have a good attorney who knows somebody.
Frank. We could do
contact.
We could do 4 hours on Frank one day.
Yeah, you want customer service? Frank charges you $100 to get in his car. That's otherwise you're not going nowhere with Frank. He's had enough of tourism. I'll tell you that. Yeah, right. So, yeah. But if you know something in immigration,
he's just one man, Gary.
Yeah, boy, praise God, just the one man.
Frank, for the guys watching, was a guy that Gary and I. Well, Gary was actually kind of in business with, and he was a real hothead. And there was a time where Gary and I were on the upper floor of the mall, and we saw Frank down on the lower end of the mall. And I don't know if you remember this or not, Gary, but I do. But you sent Frank a text or a call or something, and you just intentionally delivered him bad news. And then we both sat there and watched him flip out on the bottom of the just started spinning like a top.
Yeah, just spinning circle.
His hands were flying.
Oh, God. That's what I was hoping he's having a heart attack. Not serious. Just enough to kind of flatline him, for a minute and then bring him back. I wouldn't wish ill will on anyone, especially Frank. But
so would you agree that as you get older, that your needs, wants, desires change? I mean, your first motivation when you were originally starting to travel around were different. They were more female orientated, companionship and all this, that, and the other. But that diminishes, I think, over time. And at our age, it really looks towards, like you mentioned before, You don't like the humidity. You don't like the heat. You want to be comfortable, air conditioning. Where a young guy can bounce in and bounce out. You see the backpackers all the time. And they don't really, it doesn't affect them. You know, they're young. They just run and they go with the program. But we get to our age, it's a whole different set of priorities, I think. You know, you want to be comfortable. You want to be, it's a slower style. It's a slower pace and simpler things, man. I mean, it just comes down to, you know, every day you want to have a decent meal. Every day you don't want to be uncomfortable as hot and sweaty because we're grumpy. We're old and we're grumpy. And it doesn't take much to touch us off.
Doesn't take anything for me. You look
Especially
at me.
him.
I'm coming at you. Usually there's something in my
I'm going to go to some of the comments here, Gary, and we'll see if since we've been ignoring everybody.
Yeah, well, we'll continue to do that. But what I just want to clear the air on one thing. You said that our priorities changed, and you mentioned women. Mm-hmm. My priority has not changed. I still want to be with a woman. Okay, I haven't went to farm animals or circus routes or you know what I mean. Women. That was that was tongue in cheek. They're kind of a joke, Paul. You didn't use. You're reading. You can't do two things at once.
I'm reading comments. I've tuned you out already. Sorry.
Yeah. All right.
So we got Derek wants to say hi to you from Mississippi.
Hello.
We're taking calls now, everybody. Okay, so this gentleman remembers us from Vietnam.
Tour.
It's like Vern, but different.
Is that spelled the same?
So I'm just going to flash these up here.
Yeah.
And if we get a question from somebody, that would be awesome because I'm tired of listening to Gary. So let's see if we can get a question in here and shut his ass up. Jesus Christ.
My schedule.
I'm about ready to commit suicide right now. Let's see.
I'm on.
Show my time to respond. Let's see. I heard this video stream so you get 100% donations from your. What's he talking about?
I heard this video.
100% donations.
They give you give 100% donations.
Actually, no. That's. Oh, I know what he's saying. No, it's not true. They take 30%.
Oh, I see what you mean. I thought he was going to give some money. I'm not giving any money back. Any money you give, I keep.
Well, say good morning, will you? Jeez,
good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and shalom.
I really enjoyed that interview with her. She was a lot of fun, and she's an alpha female, and we had a great time together. So thanks for watching that video. Let's see, not McDonald's, but a basic burger combo at Wendy's yesterday was $10.71 here in Las Vegas. Yeah. You see, what I was going to ask you to do, which I know is obviously way out of your range here, was to go to the drive-thru at McDonald's and take a picture of the menu. But you won't do that for me, will you? No, I didn't think so. No. That would have been too complicated. It would have been hot.
And just go in and
you could have gotten hot and
ask for a spreadsheet. Just give me a spreadsheet. The cost.
I did a
profit loss.
I did a Google search. I was having not a debate, but I was told by another viewer because I just asked. I was curious about this inflation in America. How much is a combo meal? And some guy told me $11 and change for a Big Mac, fries, and a Coke. And my friend didn't believe that. So I Googled it, and sure enough, it came up and said it's $5.99. So he said, see, and he won the debate. But now Greg here is telling me that's $10.71 in Vegas to go to Wendy's. So I think it's just all over the country has got different, like cigarettes. They're $7 in Vegas and they're $23 in New York. So there's a young lady for you. She'd love to meet you, get to know you, Gary, and I think you should come out and say hi to her.
You don't know that. Don't give her false hope.
Don't build up the poor girl just to let her down.
No, you know what's going to happen.
Let's see if anybody's got a question for.
Nobody. See, they don't care about what I got.
No one's got a question for you, Gary.
They already know. They've been watching your channel so long. You are so informative that all questions have been answered.
Look, Roy's about to fall asleep.
Yeah. Bye-bye, Roy.
There's Fred. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Fred.
Yeah. Sean is the guy this is the gentleman right here that if he had not invited me to Thailand back in 2005, I probably never would have left the country. This gentleman right here, for all the little quips and barbs and bullshit that we do back and forth, is a near and dear brother in my heart, and I love him with all my life.
Yes,
I really do.
Me too, Brute. No, he got stabbed, didn't he? A2 Brute. I mean, he got YouTube Brute.
A2, yeah, he got killed.
Doesn't look like.
Let's see. Doesn't look like Gary is really into this live stream. Well,
what do you want me to do? I'm sitting here. I'm conversing. I'm answering Paul's questions. David, why don't you ask a question? And
you can tell David to fuck off. It's okay.
No, David. We love you, David. Ask your question.
Let's see.
Sadly, I did not. What's up?
What's up, Mr. Jim? Mr. Jim's a nice man.
Yeah, I've seen him on there.
I don't know what Sean's talking about here.
Sean's out there. Tired of being tired.
He's tired of being tired. We understand that.
Yeah.
Yep. The same old. The Groundhog Day routine.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. You have a question, for God's sakes. Read the question and answer it as best as possible, Gary. Take your time. Use little words.
Oh, would you let me handle it? Is the use of English widespread in Albania or sparse? I would say it's relatively widespread. Relatively widespread. You can converse. I wouldn't say any in-depth conversations with the average person on the street, just to stop to them and stop them and start talking. I tried that several times and got handcuffed, but you could. Not sure. Biff, is that your real name? That's a nice name, Biff. So yeah, you can get by. I enjoyed Albania. It was a very nice place. Very nice place. Enjoyed it there.
What's the downside? What's the downside of Albania?
The food. As I say, it was either pizza, fish, pasta, or veal. I guess years ago, when they were under the rule of, I think, communism, Marxism, at least, that the majority had fled to Italy, which is right across the water. So they brought back that diet of pasta and fish and pizza. I mean, you can get pizza. I mean, and it's fantastic pizza, but enough already. You know what I mean? How many pizzas you eat in 1 week? So I would say the food, but the traffic was fine. I bought some clothes while I was there. It was very inexpensive. The clothes situation. If I was able to meet a lady there, I think it would have been a lot better, living wise. But it's not easy to get there. You got to fly into, I don't know, Bosnia or somewhere, and then take another flight into not a joke, into Tirana, and then it's a 4.5-hour bus ride from Tirana to Saranda. So it's not an easy trek. It borders Greece. I hear that's nice. Athens. I was trying to get into Athens and couldn't. But Serbia, Bosnia, those Balkan countries that are there. So I'd go back if I was in the area, but there again, I wouldn't fly directly just to sit on the coast. Okay, next question.
All right, next question. Up to 30 seconds. Oh, okay. Elon Musk is going to be on Saturday Night Live. Hey, Yvonne.
Who cares?
Copenhagen.
Wow.
We have a nice.
Yvonne.
We have a pretty young lady from Copenhagen watching, Jerry. How do you like that?
That's great. That's great.
Rock on, rock on, rock on. Hey, Derek. Yeah, I would say so, Jim.
Yeah.
I
But
can't wait to get, if Gary does come to the Philippines, I can't wait to get his food review from here.
yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, the Spanish in Colombia is different than the Spanish in Mexico. Similar but different. Just saying. Thought I'd throw that in there for Biff, that I'm interested in the conversation. I'm into it, ad-libbing now, if you will. No thanks. What'd she say? Oh, she doesn't. She took that offensively. Why? Don't judge her. I'm getting a
Sean Reed seems to have a lot to say without saying anything.
Yeah.
Thailand keeps changing. We're talking about no quarantine in Phuket after July 1st for vaccinated people.
I have not read that. I just read the. It's called "Wait a Moment." I think it's put out by the Thai government on this whole rigmarole, jumping hoops with the paperwork. Said nothing about July 1st, but who knows? Broker Basil, he might know. Send us the link.
Okay, so you can get Thai insurance much cheaper, covering medical and outpatient. You know anything about that?
Well, I do know that you've got to have insurance before you can even book the flight. So
Yeah.
Thai insurance here in America, I don't think would be possible.
Good answer. Let's see, Yvonne. I love Phuket. It was the first country my husband and I visited 20 years. Therefore, we've been to Bangkok many times. My husband is a Dane and he loves Thailand too, but language is a problem. So, okay. Good on you, Yvonne. Thanks for the input.
Yeah. I lived in Bangkok for like 6 months.
Oh, yeah. You were trying to teach out there.
I wasn't trying. I did.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Patrick, I did try Baguio, and it is so mountainous. The streets in Baguio are treacherous. They are like, 45 degrees up, 45 degrees down. Every corner you go around. For an old guy like me with a prosthetic hip, murder, absolute murder. So, but you're right. Baguio is nice. It's very green up there. It's I think the number one place that Filipinos go for vacations in that Manila area. This Tecate, which is about an hour and 45 minutes from Manila, the other way, I guess south, is not as hilly as far as in between restaurants and things like that. Okay.
You look like George C. Scott.
George C. Scott. Okay.
According to Paul Smith. You do kind of look like George C. Scott.
Yeah, at least he didn't say Phyllis Diller.
Okay, here we go. Tecate. It's beside an active volcano, but I liked it when I was there. There you go.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, you're going to love the food because it's so much different there than it is here.
Right. The active volcano a few years ago actually erupted and left about 6 feet of, no, that's not right, 2 feet of ash over the entire city that they, it's since been cleaned up. And there's also a huge lake, Taal Lake. Well, there's Sean Reed again. Good luck with it. Hope you also sleep like a baby.
Yeah, that's just a response between people.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hello from Georgia. Greetings from Boston. Here's Yvonne again. Let's see. We love Vietnam too. But wow, see, Yvonne's been around like you.
Yeah.
Her and her husband. We love Vietnam too, but we've only visited Ho Chi Minh City. Once again, language is a problem. But I've never been to the Philippines, but my husband has on business. I would like to visit Baguio. I think she's saying that.
Yeah.
So there you go. Right on, Yvonne.
There again, Baguio is a little restrictive on getting there. You've got to take a bus, and it's about a 5-hour trek. So it's not like you can just drive there in 45 minutes.
Got it. Star Rider's making fun of us.
Oh.
Let's see. They're building condos right beside the volcano. There you go. They're building some condos for you, pal.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go there.
Bar of soap travel. Right. Yeah, I love that analogy. As I get done with the bar of soap, it's time to pick up and go.
If you want to stay longer, you just stop taking a shower.
Let's see. Go to 0. I already pull out my. I don't know what this guy's talking about. I got to put him in timeout because he's making too many comments.
I just block him. Rodney
I
didn't
don't block anybody.
No,
I just put them in timeout. You know, some of these guys, you know, they've been tipping a few before they come on the live stream, or they've been smoking a couple. So they just type for the sake of typing.
Right.
If you know what I mean. Hey, there's my buddy Upland Dave, aka China Dave. So China Dave, Upland Dave is an awesome guy. He really is. Big supporter of Baby May.
Oh.
And we just love China Dave. What's it like in Albania? The one place I would not think of going, much less retired. Well, we kind of already covered all that. And according to Gary, it's what was it? What was the weather like in Albania? Was it amenable?
Very nice. A lot of al fresco dining, which I really enjoy. And here again, if you're in the area, definitely stop in. Tirana, again, is the capital. Definitely stop. No doubt about it. But I wouldn't make a special flight to there and then to go back home. So take that for what it's worth.
So here we go. We're getting some more information here. Sandusky in Ohio. You familiar with Sandusky?
Oh, very. Yeah, it's only about 45 minutes away, maybe an hour at the most. Sandusky, Ohio. Cedar Point, big amusement park up there. And the lake. The lake is up there. Well, I might like that. See, I like smaller, like 100,000, 200,000 people is enough for me. When you get into the millions, that's, you can count me out. I just, you talk about getting older and all that, and you don't have as much patience, and I don't want to sit there in a cab and be surrounded by diesel fumes and tuk-tuks and all of that, you know. Let me on my motorbike and let me go.
So let me ask you a hypothetical. If COVID was over tomorrow and there wasn't all the bullshit and you could buy a plane ticket and go somewhere, what would be your first choice?
Tagate.
Okay. Oh, there's Upland Dave. Yeah, thumbs up. But be careful. Anybody that gives this video a thumbs up, remember to bend at the hips and hydrate. That's the rules, because it's very, very strenuous to hit that like button. And see there? They already know the drill. Nobody knows they pull out a loaner air conditioner for Westerners when you say Jesus Christ. Do you have any idea what this guy's talking about?
Absolutely none. I think
time out time?
Yeah, well, long time ago.
Hey, Spencer's in Thailand.
Yeah, there you go.
I wonder what part. Yeah, we got along good. We had a lot of fun.
We used to work
a lot of fun.
Even when
we actually are a lot. We're a lot more animated when we're not on TV. And there's probably, without exaggeration, there's got to be 100 funny stories that we could tell. But for this, what we're trying to do is to have a little information based on your worldwide experience of comparison between countries. That's the whole point here.
Trying to dumb it down a little bit. I'm in the chill mode, you know.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. $1,500 for a decent 2-bedroom apartment in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
Home prices are up 15 to 20%.
That's correct.
So you had mentioned to me that lumber or something like that was really expensive, therefore it's jacking up the home prices. What else has gone up? Gasoline. I'm talking about America now. If I was to leave here tomorrow and go to America, what would I experience as far as increases?
Well, for instance, I just filled up my tank with regular gas. It was $2.80 a gallon. The rents here, what Greg is talking about, To get a nice 2-bedroom, 2-bath, fairly new, you're going to spend at least $1,200 a month to $1,500 a month on that. I mean, it's just unless you want to live in a complex that's 3 stories and you got neighbors on both sides, above and below, and you got to park your car 2 blocks away to get there. And I mean, there are places for the 800 to 1,000, but it's not really conducive to comfortable living anyway. So,
and you haven't pulled the trigger on that because you don't want to. According to you, you have to sign a 1-year lease.
yeah, that's the other thing. There are no Airbnbs here whatsoever with a private bath. There are people that will rent out a room, but then you got to share a bath, and I'm not,
Right.
I'm not into that.
And you want to be able to pull the trigger in 2 or 3 months if things lighten up and get the hell out of Dodge. So
Right.
you're kind of in a bit of a quandary here. You're in a hotel. I think you're paying $50 a night or something like that.
They raised it 55.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So now you're 55. But that's kind of your only option.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's got it's a nice room and all that. But
Yeah.
It's really expensive, and there's just no short-term apartments available. Real estate here last year went up 14.7% over last year that was 9.7%. So it's like almost 24% in 2 years. And the lumber prices are, if you can get it. I mean, my daughter just remodeled her kitchen, and there's 2x4s that were $9 are now $35. I mean, it's like 4 times, 400%. Plywood that was $20 is now $65 for a 4x8 sheet. The CPI, the current price index, doesn't take into account food prices, doesn't take into account gasoline prices. That's what makes up for the average American. That's what you spend a lot of your money on. So, but I go to the grocery store and just buy 5 or 6 items. It's like $20. I mean, just bare minimum, $20, $30.
So, in a percentage, what has groceries gone up in the last, say, 2 years?
Couldn't give that to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
For a nice ribeye steak, you're gonna pay about $17 a pound, buddy. $17 a pound for a nice. I mean, yeah, you can go to Walmart and get God knows, what they're serving you. But even there is $10, $12, for a ribeye steak. So food prices are up, and the shelves aren't as full as they once were.
Really?
No. There's a lot
Are there any shortages anywhere? I mean, is it like sometimes you go in, they're out of bagels, or they're out of, any items?
I haven't seen that. No, they haven't been out of anything, but I've seen some shelves that were not as full. Normally you go into a grocery store and everything is pointed in the right direction and it's just packed right out to the edge. And yeah, you don't see that quite as much. So there's shortages. There's no doubt about that. I mean, you can Google it. There's container ships off of California. There's like 90 container ships that can't even get into port. They're too busy. So the supply chain is way back a book. They're selling Ford trucks. They don't have computer chips. They're selling them. Your navigation system doesn't work. Other things on the truck doesn't work. And they say, hey, when we get the chips, we'll give you a call and you come back in and we'll install it. So production is down. I mean, Apple the same way. Samsung with computer chips, they're on back order. There's things going on in the world that I can't explain. Men and women that are a whole lot more intelligent than me can't explain really what's going on. Biden coming out again today with a 1.8 trillion America relief for families, just to give money. They're printing money at a scale that is never been done before. Never been done.
Is that enough? See, I get news about 2 days behind. So I haven't heard that. Is he talking about stimulus again? Another check.
Another.
Oh, shit.
Well, this would be geared more towards low income people, but 1.8 trillion, and that's on top of the 1.9 trillion infrastructure bill. That's on top of the 4 trillion that was before that. There is no money. There is. They just print it. It's digits.
Yeah.
It's just digits, 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 and
Yeah.
eventually, with inflation rising and housing prices and the stock market, it's all going to bust, babe. It's all going to bust. I give it 3 to 5 years, and it's going to be unlike anything anybody has ever known in America. In my personal,
You heard it here first, folks, on the Old Dog Channel.
yeah, 3 to 5. Precious metals, buy precious metals, gold, silver. Just saying. Exactly. Get that finger, work on it.
That's right.
And hydrate.
Hit the like button, hydrate, rest, maybe take some oxygen. Your buddy Mark is moving. Yeah, my next door neighbor, buddy, friend, companion, fellow vlogger is moving. In fact, he's moving today.
Where
today
to?
and tomorrow.
Where?
He found he wanted to, these are all nice apartments. We're not bitching and moaning at all about the apartment. We're very satisfied with it. But both of us actually need a second bedroom because of the YouTube thing. It's just more, it would just be more conducive to what we want to do. Especially, we've each got girlfriends that do YouTube. So, it's a dedicated studio to just do like a little office is the ultimate. And so he was out snooping around and went and found a house that is directly on the beach. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, modern, blah, 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 blah. Just like he said, he walked in and said, I'll take it. And that's how it should be when you find a place. That's how it was when him and I came together and we looked up here from where we were currently living. And we looked at here and we both said, yeah, we'll take it. It was just 5 minutes later, we knew it was right. Baby May and I, since he did it, of course, we had to do it too. So for the last 3 or 4 days, Baby May and I have been buzzing around, looking at this place, looking at that place, driving out here, driving out there. And not one place have I walked into where I've said, okay, I'll take it. And it's always had this wrong, that wrong. She liked one thing, I liked another. She didn't. There was one place that she really liked, but I saw too many issues. But so that's the end of that. Yeah, but that's just to answer that question. Mark is moving, and he got a rock star place on the beach.
How much?
And so he is going to be paying 30,000 pesos, which is $600.
Okay.
Argentina too. I don't know what that means. These guys talk amongst themselves, and we just encourage that. That's wonderful. I spent 4 weeks on this tourist area, spoke English. George, I wouldn't argue that with you, because when Gary and I were in Phuket and we were my own experience, you remember I was really interested in getting to a church that last time. And I would drive, and you went with me one time, but I would drive way the hell out of town to go to church. And what I found was it was an interesting dynamic. I would buy an iced coffee at a stand across the street from Jung Salon. And for the sake of this conversation, because I don't really remember, it was 30 baht for that iced coffee. And pretty much everybody there spoke English. The vendors and whatnot. At least you could communicate with them. As I drove, I don't want to interrupt you. As I drove out of the city or away and more rural, the prices of that same iced coffee went to 20 baht. And then when I got to church, it was 10 baht. And the English diminished as the same as the price of the coffee to drive kind of a comparison. Yeah. So as you get out for 30 minutes in the car or by the scooter, you could be there and nobody knows what the hell you're talking about.
Right.
So yeah, it's the tourist area is where you'll find English and you can be comfortable, and also the higher prices. So, okay, I hear great things about Ecuador. I haven't heard anything about Ecuador. You? First time I've even seen the word in 10 years.
Well, the Ecuador and Nicaragua, but you're way out in the boonies, man. I mean, you talk about, surrounded by nothing but coffee plantations, and that's it,
Yeah. So Yvonne wants to know about safety. Here's my spin on that. Right here in little downtown Dumaguete / Valencia, I've never felt threatened. I've never felt like I was going to get robbed. I never felt that I was going to get kidnapped. But then again, I'm a very boring old man, and May's a boring old lady. And so we don't go out much at night, which I guess is where most of these things occur. My understanding, Yvonne, is that southern Mindanao is much more dangerous. I have visited there, but it was only for 4 or 5 days, and I didn't have any problem. But then again, I was only there for 4 or 5 days. Baguio, Gary, did you experience any safety issues? You were only there for a day or two, but did you ever feel like you were in an unsafe? No? Okay.
No.
Cebu, I would issue a warning on, simply because I have been there. Again, not for any kind of extended period of time, just for 2 or 3 days to get, visa stuff done and all that crap. But I do know that there's more pickpocket stuff going on there. And if you put your backpack next to you at McDonald's or wherever you might be eating, there is a chance that they'll cut it open and take stuff. But that's Manila, Cebu. Those are the bigger cities. And of course, crime is going to be, desperate people do desperate things. So, but here, no, I think Baguio is all right. I don't know the first thing about Laguna. Never been there.
I think the whole safety thing, I mean, you've talked about it before. It's awareness. You got, even in Medellin, I never felt threatened. However, I'd be walking along and all of a sudden I would just stop and cross the street, or I would just stop and turn around and look and see who's behind me. It's almost like the animal kingdom, the lions and the tigers are looking for the invalid. They're looking for the weak animal out there that's maybe gimping along or not paying attention, the one that's just kind of grazing, and, the tiger sneaks up and says, hey, boom, you're done. You and I both, we don't drink per se. I don't drink at all, but so I don't go out at night till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't walk down dark streets. I don't. I try to stay in populated areas. I don't flash money around. I don't wear gold jewelry. Well, Vietnam I do. It's very safe in Nha Trang. I used to wear gold, a little bit of gold there. But you just got to be aware. You got to watch what the hell you're doing. I mean, don't be stupid. And for sure, you don't get drunk. I mean, there's places in Medellin where they said, hey, if you go there, you will get robbed, which was downtown. And that's where all the ladies of the evening are. That's where all the drug deals are. And what the hell you want to go down there for? I mean, I went there during the daytime. And, when I got out of the cab, Paulie, I saw a drug deal go down. Little pack.
No shit.
Yeah. Guy had a little pack of white stuff. I don't know what it was. And he kind of, backhanded it to this girl, and she put it in her back. Just as I was getting out of the cab, I was like, wow, man, my first drug deal in a long time. Does that fit you good, But, I walked around there, went shopping, but, here again, I don't carry a wallet. So they're not going to pick my back pocket. My money's in my, just for anybody who's watching, if you want to know, I'll carry my money in my front left pocket. And I've never had a problem, I've never had, and try to make friends with people, try to speak to people and talk to people, and you're not going to have any problems, Anyway, that's enough. You guys are entertaining. Well, send cash. That's, send money. Pay for the show.
Audio. Frankie Frank and the Funky Bunch. I don't know what some of these comments are.
Yeah. Well, you got me on. You're going to get a different audience. You know what I mean?
That's true. Good audio from Jim Burns. I think the audio is fine. I think a lot of these audio. See, I don't have my microphone or anything on because it screws it up me trying to hear you. So let's see. Audio is fine. See, there you go.
Great.
Audio is good here too. So whoever has the audio problems, it's on your end, pal.
Yeah.
All right. What are the crime rates against foreigners in the country? Gary just covered that. God knows we don't need to hear it again.
Well, some of those countries you can just Google, Google.
So when do you think the Philippines are going to open up is what I hear all the time. like I got some kind of inside track, or,
Farm animal.
You got your farm animal joke.
That comment was a long time ago. He's been hanging in there. Special needs on time. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, it's disrespectful. Something's going on with your.
I don't know what these guys are talking about.
He's talking about.
They're talking to each other.
Bitcoin. He's talking about Bitcoin. It went down to 45,000. Now it's up to 54,000. Speculative, purely speculative. But that's what you're into.
See, everybody likes my trying. Only you don't like it.
Because I love not trying and you're making fun of it. The place that I love. Come on, Paul, Gary, ID, ranting, low. You guys are funny, Thailand, and Finland, all things considering.
There's no perfect place, though, is there? If there was, we'd all be there.
Everybody would be there, and it'd be a bunch of losers. Yeah. I hate people. Stay where you are. Don't ever go anywhere I've mentioned, because I might be there. I don't want to meet you. Paul wants to meet you. Go to Dumageddon, have a cup of coffee, baby May, go into that whole routine. Lots of luck. You know what I mean? Save the coffee, hits the coffee right away. I don't care.
Lynn's got a question.
Yes.
You like Vietnam the most?
Well, for accommodations, scenic view, yeah.
All right, well, let me hold your feet to the fire.
Yeah.
Another hypothetical.
Sure.
Tomorrow you got to leave America.
Yeah.
And you got to go live somewhere for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Of all the places that you've been, what would it be?
It would probably be Vietnam because I'm comfortable there. But I'm reconsidering Thailand. I never was in Hua Hin, which is a beach resort area. I'd like to check out Hua Hin. But Phuket, I got great memories. I was there for almost 3.5 years. I got great memories of Phuket. Vietnam, we talk about the stages of life that you and I are going through. I just turned 70.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm invisible now to women that 5 years ago I could have a conversation with. So every 5 years I've noticed since I turned 60 that not only my physical body has changed, but my mental outlook has changed. You talk about being comfortable, and that's where I'm at now. I didn't really go to a lot of tourist places in Medellin because I've seen waterfalls. I've seen rivers. I've seen trees and mountains, and I've been in gondolas, and it's like I don't care. I just relax. I just want to be cool, calm, and collected. I want to have a nice meal. I want the temperature to be amicable. I want the people to be friendly. I want to have a younger girlfriend, age appropriate, but at 70, what's age appropriate?
Right.
60? Yeah, right. I'm going to be with a 60-year-old woman. No,
Let me ask you an off-the-cuff question.
Yeah.
What's the attitude of women today in America compared? Is it? I mean, it was goofy when I was there, but is it But is it worse? Is it better? Is it the same? Any
Well,
observations on that? I mean, like you go to Walmart or you go to dinner or you're in the local Applebee's. I mean, do you get any kind of vibe off of that?
well, Walmart is a zoo,
Right.
and they're all corn fed back here, brother. Midwest Ohio, corn fed, buddy. Men, women, children. Woo! Trip. It's a trip. But I think you view it different from the age through the eyes of your age. Like now I'm invisible. These girls that work in the restaurants and the cashiers and whatnot, I'm invisible to them. I say shit and they don't. I'm invisible. So, but I think the general attitude of the average woman is still the same. They're jaded like we are. They don't really need a man. They've got an issue with men, and men have issues with them, and so it's just like they're button heads, and divorce rate is the same, 55%, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim or uh, Latter-day Saints or agnostic or atheist. It's still the same. People still get divorced and whatnot. So the foreign situation with women it's much more amicable. They're much more receptive to older men. And we're going to get some bashers here all of a sudden, about older men being with younger women. But when in America, when we raise our daughters, what do you tell them? Find somebody successful, find somebody intelligent, find somebody who's got their act together, right? So that's what you expect out of your daughters to do. And well, it's no different in Thailand or Vietnam or the Philippines. The young lady goes out and she wants somebody who's stable, somebody who can provide a lifestyle that's she wants to be comfortable too. So for the haters out there, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Tell the girl to go back and live in a lean-to out in the province? Say no, this is not right. You need to just to go back and climb trees with the monkeys and pick coconuts, because of the haters in the world that don't feel that you should be with an older man that can take care of not only you but maybe your child or two and your the girl's mother and father.
Mhm.
And you'll find that as countries are less developed, the easier it is to find a younger lady. It's like in Albania. Now that's a more of a developed country. I didn't see any older men with younger women at all, not at all. In Medellin, the same way. You just don't see older men with real young women unless you go to those areas that I previously talked about. But in Vietnam, to a lesser extent, you can still find younger women willing to be with an older man. In the Philippines, I consider to be many areas are undeveloped, but it is a developing country. So you
Mhm.
still have that the stigma that goes with it, that these girls want to go to college, an older man can do that for them. Their parents are ill, an older man can take care of them. It's come see, come saw. That's
Mhm.
just the way that it is. So I don't know how I got on that rant.
Yeah, let's change. Let's go off on Major Tom here.
Hollywood movies in Vietnamese are in English with Vietnamese subtitles. Hollywood movies in Vietnamese are in English with. Okay,
All right.
settled that, didn't we? Guess who
Extra
told
cheese
me?
going. Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone's going large.
yeah. Sounds like I'm going large and getting extra cheese on the burger. Until next year, it'll be $47.50. Probably. I hope you get me on the other channel when it starts. I will need oxygen. I bet while watching that, he seems like a riot. Now, this
Yeah,
is.
what he's talking about is I'm starting another channel.
I know,
And
but tell everybody else.
all right, dude.
Tell
Yeah, kiss
everybody
my
else.
ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
move your
shut up.
nose. I don't like to work in the
Yeah,
shade.
yeah, yeah. I do have a good tan. See?
Yeah, look how white I am. I'm much more handsome if I had a facelift and a tan. Pull this shit back, suck all this out. You gotta look at that, huh?
Right. Okay, so there's differences in pricing on fast food due to the minimum wage in that state.
Oh, well, thank you, Warren
Possibly.
Buffett.
No filter, Gary. Here we go.
Hi, Fred. You got that in
Okay, so
there.
that's,
We got
I
it.
keep saying it.
We got it. You need an app to buy takeaway. No app, no eat. You know, a couple of trips ago, I went into a Starbucks and I said, order a coffee. And she says, well, you got to put it on an app. And I said, well,
No shit.
yeah. I said, why do I want to do that? I'm talking to you right now. I just told you what I want. Just make it. Oh, no. You know, I reacted.
Yeah. Yeah. So honest to God, if I went to America tomorrow and went into Starbucks, I'd have to sit there and download some friggin' app.
No, I'm just giving you one example that happened to me. It's not widespread, but it does happen. Hey, you know what they had in Medellin, which was really cool? All the restaurants had the QR code on the table for the menu. So you just take your phone up and put it on top of the QR code, and it brings the menu up. I thought that was neat.
That is good.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's in Spanish, but
oh, it is. That's so good.
Did Gary answer the crackhead at the door unarmed? You know, I had my fist like this. Because he kind of was banging on you. If you heard it, he was kind of banging on the door. I'm like, what? And I reared back, and he wrong door. Yeah. More than you know, pal.
What's the state of men in America right now? We talked about women, but what do you consider to be the state of men in America right now?
Oh, I don't know. They're, as men get older, they lose their testosterone, and that's why women get an influx, of the whole estrogen thing, and men's testosterone drops. That's why you see old men and old women. The guys like, it's up to you, Martha. Anything you want, honey. That's just the way that it is. So they're lethargic, pretty much.
Yeah.
Lethargic, yeah. I live in a very middle class area. Go ahead.
Again, this is just something I hear. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that over the COVID time that people gained a lot of weight. Now, I know that was true here. I saw a lot of myself and everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people put on a lot of pounds because they were unable to go out, get exercise, etc. Have you noticed that in America?
Yes. I forget. I heard you say like 47 pounds or something.
No, I said, I read that it was 30 pounds, and I thought that was a little weird.
Well, that's a little high. I mean, there may be some examples of that, I'm sure. But because being in isolation, nothing to do except eat and no exercise. But like I say back here, they're all corn fed anyway. I mean, you can't tell an extra 15 pounds here. I mean, it just goes, right to the saddlebags. I mean, they just fill up.
So 10 pounds, you can't even notice on those people.
Yeah, because they're already pushing 300, so what's another 10 pounds?
Wow.
Yeah. They're big.
So, what else was I going to ask you? Right now in Findlay, Ohio, are you required to wear a mask? Is there any kind of curfew? Is there any? I mean, I know the mask is probably required, but anything else? Is that only if you go into it? Like here, I got a ticket the other day because I was riding my scooter without a mask on, and so the COVID police pulled me over. And even though I was by myself and nobody else was around, it's also an election year, so we're filling the coffers for the next election. They need money for their campaigns. So they've set up those little stands to make a few bucks. But what's going on there? I'm curious. If you leave the apartment right now, do you have to wear a mask from your front door to get into your car? Or is it just when you enter, say, a restaurant?
Yes. When you're outside, pretty much nobody will say anything to you. But if you go into a restaurant or a grocery store or a big box store, they do expect you to wear a mask. And once you sit down, then you can take it off. So it's not real restrictive. Every once in a while, um, one of them that I have, it's just a pull over the face type thing. Looks like a pair of panties, doesn't it? It's not. So I put this bad boy on, and usually just like this. Once in a while, somebody, they'll say, "Could you please cover your nose?" I think it's laxing up more and more. Like when I came back from Albania, it was terrible. I mean, Verizon store, the guy wouldn't touch anything that I touched. He wanted to see my driver's license. I gave it to him or put it down. He goes, "Could you flip that over?" And I'm like, "What are your fingers broke? You flip it over." He's like, "I can't touch anything you've touched." So it was pretty bad back in you know last year when COVID first hit.
Yeah.
Early March or April. It was really bad. You had to do the full face. I mean, gloves and stupid. But
Yeah.
didn't Dr. Fauci? Boy, there's a guy you want to follow. Right to the back of the line. I'm telling you, this guy, he's something. He just came out and said, "Well, if you're outside." I think he used the word minuscule. You have a minuscule chance of spreading it, if you're outside. The CDC just came out and said that. So, it's slowly starting to trend downward. A lot of
Mhm.
places are out of business, a lot of, 60, 70% of small businesses will never be back. Big restaurant here in town, they just closed down. You know why? I mean, a very popular restaurant, barbecue restaurant, closed his doors because he can't find anybody to work, can't find employees. I can take you on the major strip in town here and find 10 jobs minimum within 10 blocks. You
No
know,
shit.
Walmart has a sign off the whole side of the wall that they're hiring. Kroger's hiring. Factories can't find people. That's because of the stimulus packages that they pay people not to work. They just, this whole UBI, universal basic income. That's something else on top of this family stimulus that give people up to $1,000 a month for just give it to them. Poor people, just give it to them. $1,000 a month. New York, LA, they're talking about doing it. It's turning into well, I hate to say anything on your show because I don't want you to get bounced, but
No, it's okay.
it's becoming very socialistic and Marxist. It truly
Okay.
and controlling. They want to control people. Um, it's all about power. The elite, the mega rich. Jeff Bezos. He's now worth over 200 billion. This is after he got a divorce
I,
and gave her like 75 billion. I mean, but he
I
doesn't
need
want.
to meet his. I need to meet his ex-wife.
Yeah, yeah, she's
Hook up
available.
with her.
Well, there'd be a match, but old the channel that you're on deletes a lot of stuff. There's been scientific surveys about the and the whole that they deleted, they just censored
Yeah.
lot of stuff gets censored, and it's 3 to 5 years is all I got to say. You'll remember back,
Okay.
say, you know what, that Gary guy, man, he's the smartest guy I know.
You heard it here first.
So,
And to drive home your point, little baby May made a little exercise video.
yeah.
And when she loaded it up on the YouTube, she put in the title something about sexy dance, and they refused to monetize or pay her or advertise on that. So that was last night. So she got up this morning, and before she did anything, and she changed the word sexy to simple, and they monetized her. Yeah. So there's YouTube, Google telling us what we can and can't say. Which is why I want to let you say whatever you want to say. I don't want to be like him, you know?
Yeah, I remember when she first started, because she was in a bikini all the time and whatnot, you know, did a lot, that they held her up on publishing those. And
they deleted one of her videos
right now and just type in beauty pageant or swimsuit pageants.
Yeah.
And these girls, it's all hanging out. Nothing, you know, baby May. It's just that she's got a regular little bikini on, you know. I mean, it's nothing, you know, but you can find, you know, soft, you know what, on a lot of these swimsuit places. So they monitor, and they're really, you know, your amendment rights are being trampled on. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah. 3 to 5 years, man. 5 years. It's going to be a different. You know, a lot of rich people now, really wealthy people, are getting dual citizenships in other countries. They're moving their money offshore. This whole digital dollar that the Federal Reserve is coming out with. China already has a digital dollar. And basically, they give you money, this universal basic income, but they tell you where to spend it, what to spend it on, and how fast to spend it. All controlled. So they can throw money into an area of the economy that is lagging. And if you don't buy that product, you lose the money. It's in China right now, today.
And I can validate that because I have a couple of buddies here that are stranded because of COVID, but they came from China. One guy had lived there for 8 years. My other friend actually does business in China, shipping stuff to America. And he's the guy that I got into the hamburger argument with yesterday. But but not argument, but you know, discussion. And he was validating everything that you said about the control that China has on its citizens, and the facial recognition. What's it called? It's social credit or something like that. In other words, if they see you smiling, you know, you get social credit. And if they see you frowning, they take away your social credit. And it could affect what job you get. It could affect where you can travel to, or if you can travel at all. And just based on you being you. You know, can you imagine what would happen to us if we showed up?
Whoa. Well, you know, and people in America say, oh, that can't happen here. Oh, really? Well, if a year and a half ago, I would have told you that the government shut your business down, isolated you in your house, made you wear a mask, would you have said that could happen? No way. So there's already a lot of the liberties that, you know, as American citizens, we've lost just in this past year and a half. And the trouble with government is they never give it back. Once they start a program, they just keep right on hammering it away. So 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
$43 for 12-piece KFC biscuits, 2 sides, delivery charge, and tip. Yeah.
I wonder what part of the country Jollibee freezes in.
That's a good point.
Well, I agree with you. The first thing I miss about the carb is after 30 years of entertaining. Yeah, Gary's one. I've talked a number of times about how I hated the car business, but what I loved, because it was such a grind. And you know, I worked side by side with this man for many years, and but what I enjoyed about the car business the most was the people I worked with. You know, the Tom Galinas, the Joe Nasmys, just the stories would go on, and there was never a day. The Joe Cavins, there was never a day that we didn't just cry laughing. I don't think that you and I ever had one day together working where we didn't cry laughing because of some circumstance or what somebody said or what somebody did, or just, Yeah, and
Aisle 13.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so we would just it was that was the glue, for me. That's
Yeah.
the only thing that kept me my sanity, because the
Yeah.
job is really hard, and car people get a really shitty rap.
Absolutely.
That's still my haters like to come at me and say, "Oh, Paul's just a used car salesman,"
Right.
and my answer is yes. So what? Number one, I wasn't a used car salesman. I was a
Right.
finance guy with you.
Yeah.
But either way, I think the car industry is responsible for something like 10 or 12% of the total economy of America. So you need us.
Yeah.
And
Well,
why we get such a bad rap is go out and buy a pair of glasses if you really want to get screwed.
yeah.
Go buy some insurance if you want to get screwed. Buy cable TV if you want to get screwed.
I guess.
Buy jewelry if you want to get some markup.
Yeah.
Retail over there at K Jewelers, when it's time to buy the blood diamond for the old lady.
Yeah.
But go buy a car and the markup's about 9%. So gee whiz, I'm sorry.
Well, both you and I have the stories about the customers, the average public, the their personalities and what they
Yeah,
do and what they say.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
always.
It was 10 times harsher than anything I ever came up with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the shit we took was a lot worse than the shit we doled out. So,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
we'll end it on that.
Okay.
All right. Patrick's ready to visit Asia. God
Come on.
bless you. Okay, we get it. Next question. I like this guy.
Okay, Scott.
He's speaking my mind.
Really? Well, somebody asked the question somewhere. I don't know where it came from.
All right, so what we're going to do is it's 5 o'clock in the morning here, and me and baby May are going to be doing some stuff. Have you heard about the popularity of the houses? I don't understand what that means. Gary, do you worry about Social Security and other retirement accounts in 4 or 5 years? In other words, are they going to go out of business? I think is what he's saying.
No, the people on Social Security now, they're too big of a voting block for them to strip that. So I'm not worried about Social Security. However, the 401ks and all these hedge funds that you invest money with, I do worry about that because of this digital dollar, that if the government ever comes out with that, it's just a push of a button and they take all your money out of your checking account, your savings account, your retirement account, and they convert it to digital dollars. So yeah, I do worry about that. So you need the basics. You need some you need real estate, and you need precious metals, and do a little speculative investment on top of that. But Social Security will be there for people Paul and I's age. That's not going to happen. Yeah,
I would agree with that, and I would think that it'll last to the end of our lifetime, whatever that might be.
yeah.
But someone that's 30 years old right now may not realize Social Security.
No. My daughter is.
I think it'll be.
She's 50, and I don't foresee because it keep raising it. When by the time she's able to retire, probably be 72 or maybe even 75 years old before they even get a taste of it, and if any taste at all. So eventually it'll be phased out. It's a Ponzi scheme. We all know that. We throwing money into it. You don't get to reap the benefits from it. So, but the other, the stock market now is way overvalued, extremely overvalued, and that's all being built up by the Federal Reserve. They're buying asset purchasing and treasuries from the banks that they shouldn't buy, and don't go on what I say. I mean, YouTube it. George Gammon or Rick Rude or Peter Schiff, or there's a whole slew of very, very extremely intelligent investors out there that will mimic exactly what I say. And I'm not one or two, but I'm talking about 7 or 8 people that is who I listen to. So consequently, that's what I'm expounding on, so
What I'm curious about is you mentioned 3 to 5 years, you're predicting a crash.
yeah.
Would that include real estate?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 3 to 5 years, because we can't just keep printing this money, trillions.
All right, settle down. Settle down. Settle down. Jesus Christ. Move on to the next question. Get you
Archie Bunker.
Get on a roll. Yeah, the Archie Bunker. Yeah.
Well, it's important. The average person doesn't.
No, quiet.
It made me quicker than 3 to 5 years. Going to explode someday. It can't be. I'd like to talk to you if you're in Ohio. Yeah. Well, I am in Ohio, but talk to Peter Schiff or George Gammon or one of those guys that really know what they're talking about. They got the facts and the figures behind them. I'm ranting. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. Really.
Yeah.
What's that other guy? I'll think of it in a minute. There's another guy on there. It was a simple, sexy dance. He hopes she makes a pop.
Yeah, May just put up a exercise video.
Oh, okay. Good for her.
God bless her.
Absolutely.
God bless her. I hope she makes $1 million.
I hope 2 million.
Tiny houses. Okay. Crypto. I take it with me. Government can't take it. I don't understand that whole Bitcoin crypto stuff.
Well, he says it's in a wallet. I hope it's offline. I hope it's stored in a like a nano. What do they call those? I can't think of what they call it. But if you've got it in with Coinbase or one of those online companies, if you don't hold it, you don't own it, pal. Think about that. Move on. There is no unit. No, I never said there was, but they're looking at that. Read it. Google it. You'll find out. There again, Google. Google it, and you'll find that they're already talking about it. And Federal Reserve has talked about digital coins too. Anyway, move on. Some of these people.
Well, here's a good point, but there's naked yoga allowed on YouTube because it's art.
Really?
Yeah.
Send me the link.
So there's your next Google.
Send me the link.
Okay, we are spreading a lot of misinformation.
Well, I said it was according to me. It's my information, and this is Paul's channel, and we're on it. And if you don't like it, then don't listen.
Well, Gary's offering up an opinion. We're not coming off of 60 Minutes here. This is two old guys that know each other.
Yeah.
For the first half of the show, we were talking about locations where Gary wants to go. And then I asked him about the state of America, and he went off on a fucking tangent. So I can't help that, And if I tell him to shut up, it means I'm just as bad as what he's talking about, which is Google censoring people. So he's got a First Amendment right to talk about what he wants to talk about. And what's the misinformation when it's an opinion?
Yeah.
He's not writing a book here, Oprah. Sorry. So relax. Good Lord. Got Joy Behar here calling herself Sukhoi or whatever. Jesus.
Oh.
Mark of the Beast. Yeah, Mark of the Beast. We were talking about that the other day too, Gary. Yeah, my other friend Gary.
Yeah,
about how this is all kind of prophesized and
let's talk about religion.
Bible.
Let's talk about religion.
I think they're referring to you though.
I really do. There's an old saying. I think it was Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday said, "I would have to value your opinion."
See, now Scott agrees that you're spreading misinformation.
Listen. What I got to say.
Bitcoins.
Listen. I would have
20 minutes Viagra.
Listen. I would have to value your opinion for me to be insulted. Okay. So I don't value their opinion. So you're not going to insult me, pal.
I like listening to this. Yeah, see, this is under entertainment. This is not categorized under anything important.
Yeah,
this is kind of like You watch the 5 on Fox. This is the 2 on YouTube.
Yeah. 2 on 2. Coming to you live. Never tried. Go and check it out. It's free. Just put zip code in. I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't either.
KFC.
KFC 12 pieces, $24 in St. Louis. Well, that's $2 a hunk.
Yeah.
Wow. Christ. Let's see. When I go to the car talking to a salesman, I always ask him what kind of car they have. If not what they are selling, I am gone. Well, that's okay, I guess.
All right.
Uniquely extra. He positively wore no pants selling used cars. Oh, because I had a little thing running across my screen last live stream where it says I'm not wearing any pants, which is just a silly joke.
Yeah,
but I think some people were taking me literally. See, there you go. There's Patrick's a finance guy too. He knows exactly what we're talking
about. What is a finance guy doing up at? I guess here in Ohio.
God bless you, Patrick. Hang in there, buddy. It'll get better, I think. Huh? What?
No, I was going to say it's 5 o'clock in the morning there, but that's the time difference. It's 5 o'clock in the evening. So got it.
Oh, okay.
I have 13 pieces of Botox and put a permanent smile on your face. Yeah, the Joker. The Joker.
And we're conversing amongst ourselves. All right, kids, we're going to wrap it up. It's been, what, a couple hours we've been doing this?
Hour and
a half. That's enough.
That's enough.
I've had enough of you.
They don't ask me questions because they know they're going to get burned. Burned bad.
Yeah, let's see if I can find one. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find someone for you to chew out. Hold on a second. I always miss comments, but let me see.
Yeah, there haven't been many comments.
These guys are just talking about who knows what.
They're all right.
These guys are talking about Viagra or something here. Yeah. Hold on a second.
They got to know I'm sarcastic. You know what I mean? I don't mean any harm.
No, they don't. That's the problem. They don't understand. A lot of people just do not understand sarcasm.
Right. It's humor,
Okay, well, here you go. We got a guy that. Hold on, we got a guy that agrees with you, so we don't want to put him on.
Oh,
I want to find someone that's.
Give him 5 stars.
Well, no, I think this is the answer. I think this guy. Oh, wait. First of all, watch. You heard his feelings.
Please don't talk about the
Why can we not talk about the market? Why?
It's rigged.
Turn off the channel.
Yeah.
But here's the best solution: invest in beer and donuts.
Nothing.
I think this guy has actually found the answer.
That's it.
Right? That's right there, because they're never going anywhere. No matter what they do, digital or not, you're going to have beer and you're going to have donuts.
Beer and
donuts. I think that's the smartest guy on the channel right there.
Right there. Can't pronounce his name, but
no.
Enridu.
Okay.
All right.
See, now Upland Dave likes it. That's my buddy China Dave. And Upland Dave has got a very, very open mind, and he's very supportive, and we just love him. Biden looks just like the Joker. See, I don't want to go there. I want to talk about, we're all a little frightened and horny, Jack. Remember that.
Needs to calm the F down.
We're all frightened and horny.
But see, you and I are laughing. We're having a good time. That's the way it's always been with you and me. You laugh at yourself. You laugh at the world. You laugh at yourself. Brooklyn watches right twice a day, like Peter. Yeah, track his predictions. Yeah, okay, I've heard that before.
What do you think? Is Peter Meter assessing shifts prediction? Oh, okay. That's all those finance things. Thanks for the donation, Michael.
I watch Matthew like twice a day.
Appreciate the super sticker, boss.
Yeah.
See, there's Bob Sears.
Yeah. He's all that together. You watch a variety of different opinions and draw your own conclusions.
That's the bottom line. That's what I say on my channel all the time. I don't give advice. You're not giving advice. You're giving an opinion. and I say, this is what happened to me. This is what I did.
Yeah.
And I either fucked the whole thing up or I had a great success.
Yeah.
And you guys draw your own conclusions. I'm not going to tell you how to meet a girl
And
or
I'm
how to rent an apartment. I'm just going to tell you how I met my girl and how I rented my apartment and then figure it out from there.
Yeah.
So
and
and that's what you're doing.
what I'm talking about. You know, I'm not giving advice and not following it. You know,
Nope.
that's what I do, you know. So you can do whatever you want. I don't care, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't affect Gary whether or not you do or you don't.
And like I say, you know, go and follow 7 or 8 other guys and see what they got to say. This is better than one. Well, Manny, send us. We take, what do you call that, Paul? Coffee money, PayPal. Send
yeah, coffee money.
Coffee money. I could use a couple gallon actually. I don't know what's.
But this is better than anything on TV or cable right now.
Yeah, that doesn't take much.
Well, we appreciate you, Manny.
Yeah, I don't even watch cable. You know, I had it unhooked
Saran wrap.
2 years ago. 2 guys in the
totally like the 2 guys in Muppets in balcony. Keep it going.
Pete and repeat.
Repeat.
I haven't heard that in a while. Yeah, Pete and repeat.
You know, we're just 2 old farts shooting the shit, and if they want to watch, cool. Let's see. Is there a reason there's 300 viewers? Paul is very funny. I know Gary is too. See?
Yeah.
We're just 2 old nasty car guys. You know, those nasty car people.
I think we should join Caitlyn Jenner and run for governor of California.
Probably do a good job.
Her or me?
I think we know the answer. Yeah, that's one of my favorite videos, Greg, is, man, it's got to be over a year old. But it is by far, I think, in like the top 3 of my stories that I've told, one of my favorite stories of opening up a BDO account for May. It just, to me, it was, if I was to watch it today, I would cry laughing because it was all true and you can't make that shit up, you know.
Hey, Paul, if you watch that guy, what I told you about, his exit out of the Philippines, his newest video. Did you watch that?
No, I have not. I mean, it just came out this morning, and I'll have to settle down and put it on TV because it goes for over an hour. And
fast forward to about 45 minutes and just, you know, how he
is that where the meat and potatoes gets going?
Oh my gosh. I mean, he just drones on. But yeah, and that's going to be a good video for people to watch that are thinking about moving.
Yeah.
The type of
the information that's contained in that video, we're keeping the names out of it here, boys and girls. But the information contained in that video is something I do need to see. Would be helpful to me. I'm sure it's a very productive video, well done and spoken, not disrespecting at all. No. But what you're telling me is to fast forward to 45 minutes,
right?
And that's when we start to answer the actual title.
Yeah, and it just gets into, you know, all the crazy stuff that happened to him in trying to get what he needed to get out. I mean, it's mind-boggling. It really, but it's typical developing country stuff. So, you know,
right.
Yeah. Enough said. Give us
a funny story about Paul, Gary. I can take it.
Well,
on the other hand, though.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
I don't know which one you're going to pull out of the bag.
Well, funny stories. I remember the funniest thing that ever happened. I mean, we used to make fun of each other while we had customers, you know, and we had these little partitions and with a glass on top, and I used to peer over it, and Paul was facing me, and I'd make faces at him. This is while he's got customers. And one time I had a very special family that came into my office, and I forget who said it, but somebody said, "Batter up." And we started making jokes, and these poor folks, I'm sad to say, had no idea what we were talking about. And this guy here was laying on the floor laughing no more than 4 feet from me and my customers, lying on the
But
floor.
the customers had their back to me. They couldn't see me.
Yeah,
But Gary
in the
could.
finance office, laughing and going into spasms while I was trying to make money, while I was trying to sign legal documents and be professional. This guy, that was the funniest thing that ever happened to me in the finance office. We used to do that kind of stuff to each other all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's your story. That's
All right. So we're going to sign off, boss. It's 5:30, and I'm going to move on with my day.
All right.
Thanks for coming on the show. Everybody that came and watched. We had about a total of about 300 people at one point.
If you want
like that. So
throw it in the comments. Bring Gary back. We want more stories. Okay. Or if you don't want to ever be here again, say dump that guy. Get him out of here.
We're going to get a lot of those. Yeah, they'll be
good.
The don't have him back will outnumber the have him back 10 to 1. But that's okay.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I love it.
All right, so we can do this again sometime, I hope.
Well, maybe in June or something, I'll be in Thailand. I'm hoping I'll be, or if the Philippines open up, I'm going to Tagate.
Oh, I can't wait for you to go there and sample the food. It's so much better there than it is here in Dumaguete.
You're lying. I know you're lying. But it's much more touristy. It's more upscale and it's much more touristy. And you and May can just fly over to Manila, and you're 2 hours from Manila. You can take a jeepney, and but you got a car now. You can drive.
We'll be right up. Let me know when you're there.
I'll call.
Yeah, call me.
Yeah, I'll call.
All right, kids. Thanks for tuning in today.
Hasta luego.
Say goodbye, Gary. Say goodnight, Gary.
Good night.